Welcome back to an unexpected art lesson. This week we are going to continue talking about getting into drawing.
Alright, so now that we've actually got kind of a good introspect into what goes into a daily art practice, a monthly art practice, and kind of how to grow yourself as an artist, now the part that scares most people, or at least me, community and sharing the journey. This is the power of documentation. So successful artists understand that sharing the process is just as important as the final product.
Because it's good to share your work. People can learn a lot and be inspired by how you get from point A to point B. And also, the more you put out there, the more people engage with, especially on social media, the more people are going to see your content. Because most algorithms see a lot of people interacting with a thing as, hey, this thing is cool and people like this thing, so we're going to share this thing to more people that have stuff in common with the people that are interacting with it.
Exactly.
Which is why social media is a bit of a necessary evil sometimes with being an independent creator, which is also why I always recommend interact with the creators you like, interact with their stuff any chance you get. It helps. It helps a lot. Especially if they're small and don't have a big following.
Exactly. No artist is an island. So some of the ideas you can do, and of course, Instagram stories, you can share your sketches, failures, breakthroughs, progress posts. This is like your work across months and years, progress videos, so simple time lapses that help others and show your process and help others learn. And even just like little short one-shots of teaching others, explaining how techniques can sometimes also help not only the other artists, but help solidify your own understanding of this.
There's something about explaining things out loud and having to put your thoughts into words that helps you understand it better. And you're also trying to explain the weirdness going on in your head in a way that makes sense to other people. Everyone learns when you do that, even if it does not make any sense the first couple of times you try. I say not knowing if anything I just said actually made sense to anybody. It kind of made sense in my head, maybe.
It made sense to me, but I'm not always the bastion of normality, so...
Yeah, it's one of those, if you think that I'm a smooth talker and eloquent, I probably overthink what I'm saying about as much as you do. So... have more confidence in yourself and just say it. If it comes out wrong, try again. You don't have the magic of editing the audio to make yourself sound smarter unless you're doing a podcast. But just try. Talk about it. Talk it out. You got this.
Remember, folks, if at first you don't succeed, blame it on your parents.
So where do you find artistic community? I mean, online's going to be the best place to start, of course. With social media, you've got hashtags like learning to draw, daily sketches, finding specific artists, or following people who post things so you can see what they post and get inspiration from that to figure out what to post yourself, as well as finding other people in their comments and in their community that might be interested in joining yours. Not as familiar personally with the Reddit communities. Have you spent time on those, Watson?
I have ghosted on those a little bit. I researched the Learn to Draw and Art Progress Picks as venues that do contain a lot of kind of artists who are not only beginners but more seasoned, in order to kind of see that, okay, it possesses a decent range for people to kind of view, understand, and get inspired by. Personally, I am not really the greatest when it comes to social media, so I'll be the first to say your mileage always varies, but there is people for everybody out there. You just need to put the wrench time in to find it.
Yeah, these are good starting points, and if it's not the right place for you, it's at least a place to start looking for other places. There will be people there who know about other communities, and next thing you know, you're in like 6 different Discord servers for artists. some that might be very niche specific, some that are very broad, some that are super serious, others that are silly and just full of memes and dog pictures. But everyone loves memes and dog pictures or cat pictures.
Exactly.
And Discord is a wonderful place to make random internet friends, as that is how Watson and I have become friends, is through Discord. Though I think it originally started on Twitter, but very quickly moved to Discord.
Viva Discord.
And rest in peace, Twitter. I'm still sad about that.
Yeah. So, obviously, the internet is a great realm to start your hunt for other artists and other people to become inspired by, but local communities, depending upon how big your local community is, this can also give you many wonderful opportunities, such as figure drawing sessions, art supplies for workshops. I know one of the local places around here that used to be Colors. They did run their own workshop sessions. Usually it was a lot more niche, like graphite or acrylic. I do believe Black Dog has their own portraiture sessions as well, but check out the art stores in your area. I bet you 2 to 1 will find something in there that could be of interest.
Especially if it's a local place. I mean, the big chain stores like Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if any of these are actually in Canada, apologies if they aren't, but you can get the gist of what I'm referring to. The places where they're everywhere. They will also have some things, so that could be a good place to start, but there's just something about the locally owned and operated more niche hobby stores where it might be more affordable, more accessible, and might get a little more creative with it. Local library might also be a good place to potentially find things depending on where you live. Smaller towns, they may not have as big of a library, but the library where I live, there's a place where you can check out baking supplies, and they've got like 3D printers and stuff like that. They've probably got things where you can check out art supplies and like art lessons, and even if they don't have anything there, the librarians like to be connected with the community. If they don't have it, they probably know someone who knows where to look.
The library is a great place, and I actually can't believe I didn't think of that one either, but again, the usefulness is always dependent upon the resources of that particular library, but it's always worth checking that out because libraries are awesome, yo.
Exactly. Public libraries are great. Even if they don't have that, they'll have something else that's interesting. There's opportunities to volunteer, learn new things, find a new hobby. We're all about trying new things and giving back to the community here, and libraries are a good place to do that. And museums, too. Museums are a good place to connect with the art community.
Definitely. There are several museums and art galleries that are always wonderful to go take a sketchbook, sit down, and look at some of the portraiture or other kind of finished pieces artists have placed in there, and it'll give you ideas on how to think about the medium that you may not have necessarily thought about previously.
What local museums would you recommend?
I believe the major one for here would be the Mackenzie and the Dunlop art galleries. Those often do have a variety of both local and international artists. They also do tend to bring in a variety of mediums of ideas to study for said artists, so it gives you exposure to styles and elements that you may not have necessarily thought about beforehand.
I always love going into art museums and art stores, and we stopped by a place when we were in Arizona, and I'm like, I never thought about that kind of Technicolor cactus, but I love that Technicolor cactus.
Technicolor cactuses, yeah, that's a unique concept, and also a great cat deterrent.
It depends on the cat. They might just think it's more fun to play with, and then very quickly realize maybe not.
It's the toy that bites back.
But there's probably also something in coffee shops, and even if there isn't one, you could potentially start one or just talk to the owner of your local coffee shop, maybe put up a little sign on their bulletin board saying, hey, I'm going to be here around this time just practicing sketches and different subjects, and you're welcome to join. And it can either be a super social thing or just a bunch of people sitting around a table with sketchbooks not talking to each other. It depends on what kind of vibe you're going for.
And there is no dishonor in not talking to anyone else, just working together as local artists.
Exactly. Sometimes there's just something nice about just existing with people and indulging in things that you enjoy. You don't have to be super social. You might want to be super social, and that is also valid. But there's something for everyone.
Precisely, and as Brianna had mentioned, if there isn't something in your area, you can always create one. So the idea is you could create a local sketching group at a coffee shop, at a library, even documenting your journey and sharing it, or even putting up just here's how I began as an artist.
Yeah, and share the resources that you find with other people who are learning, or organize art challenges and collaborations. So, I forgot to get a picture of it, but when I was at Gen Con this year, Gen Con's a big D&D convention that happens in Indianapolis, they had this mural that people were allowed and invited in to contribute to. So I think part of it had already been drawn. They were just filling in, painting the different structures and people. But every time I walked by, a few more things had been added. It was so fun to watch it. I wasn't able to find any information on it, but I could probably Google and find it. Apparently it's something that they do every year, is they have this big mural that different artists are allowed to just stop by, get a time, and contribute to.
That is actually quite cool, because then you would get to see a variety of art styles. It's like sketch battles.
And you get to see different art styles and how they can be meshed together, and it's so cool. It also reminds me of I've seen the thing where you have two people each have a sketchbook, and they'll draw something, and they'll have a 15-minute timer, and they just keep switching back and forth and adding different things and building on to the drawings.
That sounds just wonderful. Definitely a great thing to actually mention to people to look for, and if you can find the end result, that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, I've just seen videos and stuff just around on social media for people doing that with drawing, also using markers and so forth.
Yeah, so it does remind me of the old school sketch battles that were in the convention season when I was doing that more often.
Oh, they probably still exist. I would be surprised if they didn't. Tell me about it.
Sketch battles usually were a event where two artists would go head-to-head against each other, often using inspiration either of their own little worlds or pulling in bits and pieces of their opponent, and may the best artist or the most creative artist win. So one of my favorites to see was the two artists from League of Legends actually did this corresponding set of sketchbook pages with each other, where one would start one of their characters and it would be picked up by the other, and by the time the sketch battle was done, it was this large mural where you would see these two characters interacting with each other across a 10-foot section of paper.
That's so cool. I love that sort of collaborative challenge. And I don't know how exactly you determine who the winner is. It's probably going to be by whoever gets the loudest cheers, or if there's specific criteria. But let's be real, everyone wins, especially the audience. The people who get to see how these finished pieces came to be.
Yeah, and you are correct. The usual way of determining the winner was whoever the largest amount of cheering from the crowd. But the other interesting thing about Sketch Battle is that you could not actually go back and try and correct your work. It was this raw passion of these characters, these designs. You had to know what you were going in with inside and out. But at the same time, it forced you to accept imperfection. I know one of the critical things we have talked about are artists always getting too in their head with everything they put out needs to be flawless. This was not that situation. This was dynamic. This was alive. It just felt, it was fun.
Make bad art and share bad art, because there's actually no such thing as bad art. It's just art, it's subjective, it doesn't have to be perfect, just make it and share it. As you're starting this journey, and if you want to share it, share all of it. Share your learning process, not just the finished pieces. Document your journey. We all love looking at the journey of the famous artists who we admire and all think that we could never be. One day, you might end up being that person for someone. Give people something to study. Give people something to look at. Show your work, share your work. You might inspire other people to also do the work. Because sometimes it's easy to forget things when you have the ADHD, neurodivergent brain that is wired weird, and all of us do, let's be real. Normal doesn't exist. It's just the setting on a dryer.
Exactly. Part of the journey is the end, of course, but the real important bit is the process. Learning, connecting. Art is supposed to be shared with everyone, so creating that connection, creating that journey is part of what can be important, and it helps to keep you kind of accountable to yourself as well by sharing that with others.
Yeah, and engage with other people. Engage with other artists. Be authentic. Show feedback or support, or even if it's someone shares something and you're like, I like this part of what you did. Tell them. Tell people what you like. If it sounds like they're having a bad day, say nice things to people. Be authentic. Don't just kind of kiss up to them. Well, being a little kissing up to people's fine. I'm not going to judge you too much for that. I would be lying if I said I didn't do that sometimes. But authenticity can have a big impact. Especially when you're interacting with other people on a similar journey as you. And you never know when that random, hey, this is really cool, I like how you combined these colors, is gonna just make someone's day, just turn it around. Let them know that they're seen, and that people care about their work.
I'm trying to find a smart Alex way to respond to this, but yes, again, no artist is an island, even me.
We all need the positive feedback. Apologies if my dog barking at the squirrel outside is coming through on my audio. He's loud. There's not much I can do about it.
Battle of the squirrel versus the dog. And again, the community is where you can also engage and learn more about the craft. Ask questions. Most of the art community is happy to answer anything that you can come up with, any ideas, any concerns, or even processes. If you want to learn how to draw figures better, I bet you there's at least 10 artists who can give you insight on how their process works.
So I'm not going to say I've never been afraid to ask questions, because there's definitely been points in my life where I've been more hesitant, but I've gotten to the point that when in doubt, I'll just ask. You come across some unfamiliar jargon or terminology, just say, hey, what does this mean? Or does this mean this? It's okay to ask questions, even if you feel like it's a dumb or silly question, or there are also times where I will ask a question knowing that I'm being a little ridiculous, but I also know that for my brain, even though, yes, I know the answer, I need someone else to tell me the answer. I need the verification, the validation. That I've got it right in my head, that I'm on the right track, and that can help you get the courage to move forward. And also, there's probably other people having the exact same question that just aren't comfortable enough to ask. So just ask.
Precisely, and through asking, this usually results in sharing resources. So, tutorials, techniques, and opportunities that other artists have either come into, discovered, or had passed along to them, and they're paying that tribute forward by passing it to you.
Yeah, creative communities are very, very generous. We can't really afford to be stingy. And it's the whole rising tide floats all boats. We're in this mess together.
You're not trapped in here with me. I am trapped in here with me. I forget where that was going.
We're all trapped in here together with each other, and it's great! Now let's burn it all down.
Burn it out!
Sorry, that was my American coming out.
Totally fair. And while you're passing along these tutorials, techniques, and opportunities, celebrate others. One of the things that I feel that is never really brought up enough is celebrate when one of our own makes it.
Absolutely. Celebrate all of the wins. Even the little wins deserve a party or congratulations. And it's okay to look at that and be a little bit like, oh, why can't that happen to me? Be like a little jealous. A little jealous is okay as long as you are not sabotaging people. Or thinking, you don't deserve that. You don't know what all went into that person getting that opportunity. Celebrate them and keep working. You'll get there. And who knows, maybe them getting there might help you get there too. Or maybe you'd have a different place that you're going to end up, and that's fine. Just celebrate and don't be a jerk.
Yeah. Just remember, nobody became an overnight success. If you see an artist get where they wanted to go, it could have been years before somebody actually paid attention to them. Or could be that this person intentionally tried to keep low-key, and for their own personal safety, they preferred to keep their process quiet. If they do break out, just always think about it as there's a story behind everyone.
There is, whether they share it or not. Also, with all this talk about sharing your work, you don't have to share everything if you don't want to. It's okay to want to keep some things private. It's okay to operate under a pseudonym. I'm an indie author. I'm very familiar with the operating under a pseudonym thing. There's nothing wrong with that, especially in this day and age. You can still be your authentic self while also allowing for some privacy. Keeping your personal life a little bit separate from your public persona. Just remain authentic to who you are and don't be like straight up lying to people. It's a bit of a fine line, but there's nothing wrong with operating under a pseudonym.
If you read this line, remember the verse, not the hand that wrote it.
Exactly. I guess the thing to be wary of, don't pretend to be something that you're not. If you're a white person, please do not make a persona that is a non-white person. Don't pretend to be something you're not. Be authentic to yourself.
Very wise words.
Because A, it's rude. B, that will not end well for you. Someone somehow is gonna find out. And oh boy, that's not gonna end well.
No.
Creative communities are very supportive unless you pull something like that. Then it's like, nope, bye.
Get the torches!
And the pitchforks.
Thank you for listening to An Unexpected Art Lesson, the show where we talk about everything you didn't know about art. Stay tuned next week for further discussion of the truth about drawing and how to get started on your journey as an artist. If you like what we're doing, you can follow us on social media and join the conversation over at An Unexpected Art Lesson on Threads, Blue Sky, and Substack. And you can also support us over on Patreon. Get early access to episodes and other fun things at patreon.com/anunexpectedartlesson.